how I got over my fear of being on camera and how you can too. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that I know you're thinking about, like what if I say the wrong thing when I go live? Or what if I completely blank out when I'm live? And the worst of all, what if my kid has a tantrum outside the door and everybody can hear it? Or maybe you have dogs and they start barking like crazy. These are all super valid points about when you're going live and things that can kind of go wrong. But there are ways to kind of mitigate this and to make it easier for you to go live and to be on camera. And I'm going to share my story as to how I essentially got over my fear of being on camera, because trust me, I did not start out like this at all. So let's get to it. I will just get rid of that and get our little intro going here. Hi, I'm Charlene Tessier. I'm the founder of Strength in Numbers, and I help you use strategic live streaming, video, live virtual events to help you find your fans online, your ideal clients, and get them enrolled into your programs. This is a little bit about my story, how I actually ended up on video, because I can tell you now, 2 years ago, I would have this would have never crossed my mind. So I started out about 2 years ago wanting to, of course, create an online business. And of course, the best way to reach my audience, I thought, like everybody else, is to blog, write long form content. And to be honest, even though I don't mind writing, I hated blogging. I don't feel I'm the best writer, and I absolutely loathe doing it. But I grinded away for quite a while trying to do it. I actually ended up trying then moving into posting, mostly just written form posts on LinkedIn. Then I didn't like doing that. So then I tried tweeting, and I really hated that even more. And a friend of mine came across a 30-day video challenge on how to get over your fear of being on camera and create videos. And I thought, I hate writing so much. I wonder if this challenge could work for me. So I did. I joined the 30-day challenge. And at the end of 30 days, I was actually pretty confident. And I joined her program and I started going through the material and cranking out videos. And I actually made over 20 videos, if you can believe it or not. They're all on my YouTube channel, except you will never see them because they're all unlisted. And unlisted videos on YouTube means that unless I give you the link, you don't see them publicly. And the reason I never essentially released those 20 videos is because I just felt that they were horrible. They were dry. They were not me. That was just, this wasn't me. And I essentially, after doing that for about another, 6 months or so, I decided video maybe wasn't for me. It was maybe a pipe dream, and it would be nice to eventually, get into it, but no. So then I started to, of course, scour the web for some other idea. And as I was kind of giving up on video, COVID hit, and I thought, oh, great, this is even worse. Now, what am I going to do? My business is not doing very well. And now COVID is pretty much probably going to tank it completely. So I went to a mastermind, which is a place where entrepreneurs can go and brainstorm together and help you sort of solve your most critical problem. And my most critical problem was I wanted to reach out and connect with my audience, but really most importantly was that I wanted to get into a conversation with them and understand how is it I could serve them better. So they suggested, why don't you do something called a virtual summit? Now, everybody's heard of virtual summits now. They're all over the place. You probably got one waiting in your inbox right now to go and join a free virtual summit. But back then in early March, virtual summits was still very far and few between. And what is even more rare is majority of virtual summits were always recorded. It was just a presentation and you couldn't engage with or talk to the speaker directly. You would only be able to probably talk to them in the chat a little bit, but it was pretty much a webinar style. So I decided, no, I'm going to just do Zoom room style. I'm going to do it live. I had never done this before. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to go down in a blaze, I'm going to do it quickly. So I gave myself 3 weeks to do this. I got together 6 speakers, 2 half days live, insane. And I got it off the ground. And I was shocked, like, what? This actually worked. And best of all, people showed up 20, not 20, that was a really small one because it was my first one, but about 10 people showed up for every session. And my most terrifying thing was that nobody would show up for the entire event, and that at least 10 people showed up for every session was like, wow. And what made it most interesting for me was that, yes, it was video, but it was in a format that actually brought out my personality and worked much better for me, and that it was a live virtual format. And from that, I started doing more live virtual events, but it was a lot of work to actually try to get people to come to the Zoom room. And then I heard about live streaming, and I thought, well, this is very similar. And so I thought, I'm going to try it. And I actually quite fell in love with live streaming. And there were a few things about live streaming that are different than recorded video, that are actually in my favor. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. So, but first, before, we're going to talk about the 3 ways that you can make being on camera, being live, even if you do record it, because this is a recorded video in the end. Um, it just makes it a lot less scary and a lot easier. And to be honest, one of the things I did decide after I decided live streaming video was going to be my thing is I actually hired a presentation coach, a really amazing one who I will put down in the link below, who really helped me to bring out my personal style. And yes, I think having a coach is really important, but I also think it's practice. You have to put in the time and do it. And so, but the first thing you do need to know before you even worry about all of that is that if you're deciding to do a video, if you want to live stream, especially, a lot of people don't plan their live streams. It's weird. People will plan a recorded video, they'll map the whole thing out. But when it comes to live streams, they think, well, what do I got to do that for? Yes, you got to plan it. Got to organize it, and it's got to be a clear, concise point that you want to drive to. And if you don't plan it, it's going to be kind of a boring video that where you just ramble on and nobody's going to honestly watch. Number 2, talk about one main point. Again, there are live streams that are very, very long, and those are completely different beast than most short live streams on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. The ones that are short are generally the best, under 10 minutes. If you go longer than 10 minutes, most people probably won't watch it. And most people only really watch the first 2 to 3 minutes. So having just one idea and then maybe a few subpoints under it is really critical. But most people just have way too much to say. And whatever you think you want to say, like cut out 90% of it and say one thing. That will deliver a much better and stronger message to your audience when you go on camera. The third thing is you got to talk to your friend. I'm talking to you right now as a person, right? And many people, when they're streaming, what happens is that they refer to the group or to an audience or something like that. And it's really quite impersonal in that sense. Live streaming is wonderful because even though I am broadcasting out, it has a very personal one-to-one feeling. And it's delivered in a very beautiful way when you watch back the recording. That it's like I'm talking right to you, and I am talking right to you. And so talk to your friend, really see that person and speak to them as if they're there, because they are there, right? And I'm going to give you one little bonus tip, and that the thing is what I mentioned earlier was the reason live stream works so well for me and recorded video did not, is because with recorded video I had to push that publish button. And even to this day, those 20 are not released. I don't think I'll ever release them. I won't delete them because I did do them, but I don't think I'll ever work up the nerve to hit publish. But when you live stream, it's a bit like having an accountability partner, or you can even get an accountability partner if you don't want to do it live and just do recorded. But it makes sure that you announce to the world, I announced to the world a week before that this is going to happen today at this time. And that makes me show up, makes me be ready. It makes me deliver something really good to you. And that is why, for me, live stream has been the best, because it makes sure that I deliver that content on a very consistent and regular basis and show up for you. So get an accountability partner. Now, I want to go just back. We're almost done. I know, like I said, keeping it short and sweet, but I want to go back to those questions, because these questions actually are the questions that I've been asked by my audience about live streaming. They're taken specific directly from them, their wording, and that is, what if I say something wrong? Well, if you plan ahead, you probably won't say anything wrong. You know you're talking about something that you are an expert in, that you're passionate about. It's you. I don't think you can say something wrong, especially if it's value content, added. I think if you could say something wrong if it's maybe some kind of topic that's maybe political or highly polarized, but if you stay away from all of that, then you should be fine. And think about it as if you are in the office with your coworkers and you're in the lunchroom. What's appropriate to talk about? Just use basic common sense like that, and you should be fine. Now, what if you blank out in the middle of the live stream? This can happen, especially early on, because you don't script it, and so you might forget, even though you are subject matter expert. And so what I do is, often I just have my points on a post-it note, and I look down. I mean, it's okay. And that's what I had in the beginning. I actually had my 4 points out in front of me. It kind of gave me this sense of a crutch, although often I never had to look at it. But I don't script it, and I don't recommend that you script. I recommend just putting your 3 main points, and then rehearse a little bit beforehand, not too much, and then go live. It will sound very natural. It will sound like you, and it will be very engaging. The third is, what if my kid has a tantrum at the start of going live? And this has happened to me. I have a toddler, and she has had some scream fests outside my door while going live when she was younger, especially when she was a little bit younger. Few ways to resolve this is try to go live when they're not home. So now I do it when she's in daycare rather than in the evening, when I used to go live actually when she was at her crankiest, just before bed. And often that was kind of the worst time. Another, if you have pets, if you have dogs, maybe there's a specific time that your partner walks your dog. That would be a good time for you to go live. But you can't stop all interruptions. I've had the doorbell ring when nobody was home, and the package and the delivery person was waiting for me to answer the door. And so I was like, what do I do here? And I was waiting for that package. So it happens, and you can either decide to stop the stream. You can actually go back into social and just delete it and then start the stream all over again, which is an option. Or you can just tell your audience you're going to take a short break and be right back. That's the other thing you could do. The other thing that has helped me with the sound of ambient noise of, if you don't have a dedicated office, which I actually don't have because I live in a very small apartment, and there is noise from all kinds of things, including the rooster, who is not mine, but just in the backyard of my neighbors, who happens to crow all day long. And I used to have a snowball mic, which would pick up the sound all around, all kinds of sound. And that was not the best. I ended up getting actually just a $20, quite a good lapel mic for just $20. And it has been much, much better. It picks up the sound, and it kind of cuts out any other noise. So that's one of the ways you can reduce one of those little things there. I have, several comments today. Oh, so one person said that the person I did the 30-day challenge with was Neve Arthur. That's how you pronounce her name. And yes, it was. And I do love Neve, and I still follow her. And I do love her stuff and used a lot of tips and strategies from there. And another person said that they did the challenge twice and got really close. I know the challenge is long, 30 days, but I was really committed, and I really hated blogging. And so that's why I decided to really double down on video. Although, like I said, it was still a bit of a journey until I got to the place And thanks, Cher, for coming and watching. And that I have a little bit of a mix of spontaneity as well as planning. Thank you very much. This live stream went on a tiny bit longer than I thought, but thank you all for being here. And I will, oh, one more thing I just totally forgot, which is if you want to learn some strategies around live streaming, I have a free community. It's not on Facebook. It's not in LinkedIn. It is a private and safe space for you to join. I will put the link down below. I hope you'll join me there. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.